In this video, I'm going to show you 3 ways to cast on a 3x3 rib. So this is one option that you can do. You can of course cast on a 1x1 rib, and after you knitting the first row, just transfer to have a 3x3 rib. If you're not sure how to cast on a 1x1 rib, I have a tutorial where I show that in detail, so I'm going to link that in the description down below. And this is the result that you can achieve. I'm sure that we could do the first row a little bit tighter. I've got 3 needles in action, 3 out of action across the main bed, and I will do the same on a ribber bed. But before doing that, I'm going to make sure that my beds are in half pitch. I'll begin on the left side, and I'll just make sure that one of the needle in action on the ribber bed will be on the outer side, and the other 2 will go right in between the first 3 in action on main bed. This time I will do a cast on without waste yarn, but for the next one I will show you how to do a waste yarn cast on. Knit 1 row. Place your cast on comb and a couple of weights. Now it's time to knit the 3 rows tubular. To do that for my brother, I will press the left partial cam on main bed and put the right cam on my ribber bed into PR position. So now when I'm knitting from left to right, I will knit on main bed only, and then when I'm coming from right to left, I will knit on ribber bed only, and we're going to do that 3 rows. Place your carriages in normal position. The next step is to put the beds in full pitch, and that moves the ribber bed once to the left, and we will also rack 2 times to the left. 1, 2. So things can feel a little bit tight at this point. That's why it's very important to test your tension and see what works. But I would definitely encourage you to just start with a looser tension at the beginning just to see how it works. And if you feel like you could tighten the tension, you can do that afterwards. Before knitting the first row, I will push the needles all the way out. This way I'm ensuring that the first row just knits without any issues. You can see now that the needles don't meet with each other. This yarn is about 4 ply, and normally I would knit on tension 7 or 8. Now to knit this first row, I use tension 5, just so you can have an idea on how to adjust your tension, but definitely start looser. You can always go tighter. And here's how the sample looks. The first row is a little bit loose, so you can always add some elastic yarn if you don't want that to happen. We're also kind of getting some long floats. That's why I will show you next how I kind of approached this to just make it look a little bit nicer. So this is a third option that you can try, and that's definitely my favorite. So I think it was still important for you to see this version to see how it works, and then next you can see how you can improve it. Also, this sample hasn't been steamed or washed, so that's why it's a little bit loose as well. I'll bring the needles in working position just like I did before. Before knitting the first row, I will also push in work the needle in the very center of the 3 that are out of action. So what we have now is 3 needles in work, one out of work, one in work, one out of work across. I will of course make sure to have the same on main bed. Knit the first row in waste yarn, place your comb and a couple of weights. And now you can just knit a few rows in waste yarn. Knit 3 rows on main bed only. In order to do that, all I have to do is to put the 2 cams in PR position on river bed carriage. Knit 1 row all needles, so I have to put my river bed cams back into normal position. I'm going to remove my waste yarn from the feeder now. Drop all stitches on main bed. Again, I'm going to set my river carriage to not knit, and when I knit across, only main bed will knit, and therefore all the stitches will drop as I don't have any more yarn in my yarn feeder. So now we can feed our main yarn. Make sure that both beds are in normal position and knit 1 row all needles. So now that we knitted the cast on row, we can do the 3 rows tubular. Again, press the left partial cam on main carriage and the right cam in PR position on a river bed carriage. Main bed only, river bed only, just like we did in the previous example. We will put the beds in full pitch, which will move the river bed once to the left, and we will rack 2 times to the left. And before knitting the first row, so you know that needle that we put in action in between the 2 out of action, I'm just going to transfer that stitch. First, I'll transfer all of them from river bed to main bed. And you will see it can go right in the center of the ones on main bed. And I'll do the same on main bed. Okay, so now we have a 3x3 rib and we can knit as many rows as we want. By adding that extra stitch in work, we avoid having that very long float in between, and you will see at the end that I think that looks much nicer than the second sample I showed you. And here is a sample. I think this one is the neatest out of all of them. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know which one was your favorite, and I will see you in my next video.